But I did run into a couple one time that said they weren't married, and the woman actually had an issue when I brought it up. Like, you can go ahead and add him to the deed. And she was like, no, if he's not on a home loan, I don't want him on the deed. And I stayed out of that. Like,
I heard that a few times.
That's where this conversation ends, and y'all just got to deal with that, and I'll just help you buy the house.
I actually was dealing with a couple just late last year, and they were buying a house. They, the couple was at the showings together. I'm keeping this real vague to protect my client's privacy, but the couple was at the showings together and everything, and they were talking about how they were placing the house and all. And then, as time went on, the conversation just more so shifted to, this is my house, and this is how I'm doing it. And I'm the only one on this deed and mortgage.
Yeah, I'm the only one on this mortgage. Everything's going to be the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I stay out of those conversations. Yeah. That can get dicey.
Sad enough, I think they wound up splitting a little bit more after they bought the house.
Yeah, you cannot avoid those hard conversations. I will keep saying that until the day I die. You cannot avoid the hard conversations.
There's no way around it. It's like the hard conversations just gotta happen sometimes, and you just gotta put it all on the line and go have some ice cream after the conversation to heal up the wounds.
Exactly, but sometimes you gotta dig into those wounds. All right, two different people buying a house together. Should both people go on the loan? Should both people go on the deed? If only one person is going to be going on the loan, does it make sense for the other person to be added to the deed? Let's talk about it.
I mean, it comes up a lot, honestly. As far as the two people on the loan, that all depends on the financial situation. So let's say, for instance, the spouse, because we ran into this, the spouse, they may have a lower credit score, one of the spouse, and then the other spouse has the better credit. But both of them, they're married, they want to both be on the deed, and they want to have joint ownership of the property.
Yeah.
In that case, it's good to just do one name on the mortgage, two names on the deed.
Right. So, but that's for like married couples. So two people buying a house together, two partners buying a house together, one person going on a loan, but they're not married. People kind of get shaken up a little bit right there.
I mean, that's where it gets dicey though, because now you really got so you want to make a commitment together to purchase a property, but not a commitment together for the lifetime of relationship. Like, that's a little crazy. What you think?
What do you mean? It's not like they don't want to get married. They haven't reached that part yet, and they decided to buy a house together.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe buying a house together makes more sense financially.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. Like, you want to buy a house together, which y'all not even married.
I mean, people do it all the time.
All the time. I actually follow this dude. Him and his best friend, like homeboy best friend, they bought a house together and they just renovating the house together. So a lot of people was asking them like, "Hey, are you guys a couple?" And they're like, "No, we're not a couple. We're just two good friends that decided to buy a house together."
Yeah, but that can get dicey though. Two friends buying a house together. If there's a falling out, then what happens? So we always tell people, if y'all aren't married or anything like that, the title company can walk you through the best ways for you two to be on the deed. Yeah, so just, is there any point that makes sense for only one person to go on the deed when two people are going to be paying for the house, two people are going to be living there? Is there any time where it makes sense for the other person to not go on the deed?
I mean, if somebody's trying to utilize first-time buyer programs, buy multiple properties, maybe investment properties and stuff like that, you're a first-time home buyer, you buy the house, everything's in your name, mortgage and deed, and I hold off and I don't buy anything yet.
Oh, because if you are on that deed, then you are a homeowner.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
it's not when your
point.
first mortgage comes. It's when your first time you go on a deed.
That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
That actually happened. So somebody wanted to buy a house and they were on the deed. They didn't buy the house.
Yep.
Their mother did, but they were on the deed, so then they didn't qualify for the program at the time and they had to wait. So that's a really good point.
Because buying a house is literally your biggest transaction you'll probably ever do in your life. So don't go into it with any doubt or uncertainty.
That's it. Have the hard conversations.